Good evening and welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly educational call. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist, and for this call I'm going to start off by talking about vitamin C supplementation and the benefits and potential problems with it. So most of you realize that vitamin C helps improve our immune system. It's a very, very good antioxidant. In fact, in large dosages, it's considered anti-cancer. I mean, that was some work done many years ago by a man that won 2 Nobel Prizes, Dr. Linus Pauling. And since then, there's been some issues about vitamin C, and what the medical community normally cites as a problem with vitamin C supplementation, so this would be above and beyond what you would get from food, is you have this risk of forming kidney stones. It turns out that this risk actually exists, even though a while ago when it was being claimed, nobody had kidney stones. It was just something that the medical community thought would happen, and there was no evidence of it. But since then, now there is evidence that there's this very slight risk of forming kidney stones when you take in a fair amount of vitamin C, 4,000 milligrams a day. I do recommend people dose in that range if they want to. So that would be a typical therapeutic type dose of 4,000 milligrams a day. And your chance of getting kidney stones are 1 in 300. That doesn't sound like much. Well, that's because the chance, if you don't supplement with vitamin C, is 1 in 600. So, yeah, you get twice the chance, but it's still a very low number. And the way to minimize kidney stone formation is just keep drinking water, real water, not water with something in it, just pure water with no additives. That will greatly reduce your risk of getting kidney stones. I mean, right up to as close to zero as possible. Now, what happens with vitamin C, and this is very well known, and it's true, chemically, vitamin C turns into oxalates. And you're going to hear this term anytime someone has kidney stones, they'll say it's an oxalate stone. So certain greens are high in oxalates too, and that's why people that are prone to kidney stones decrease their intake of certain greens like kale. But the same thing is true. It's not just the oxalates, just dilute them with pure water, purified water. So the advantage of taking vitamin C, and this has come up for the past 6 or 8 weeks ever since we had this coronavirus COVID-19 problem, is it does improve your cold risk, meaning your ability to not get as sick and to heal faster. So this is just what happens when your immune system is strong. If you have a strong immune system, there's less chance you will catch a cold or the flu, and if you do, you recover faster. That's the whole point of keeping your immune system strong, whether it's through eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, supplementing with antioxidants like vitamin C, taking your Steromax so that your white blood cells are strong and active, or do all of it. You keep your immune system strong so that you heal faster should you catch a cold or any flu, and the chance of you getting sick decrease. And even when you do catch a cold or flu, the symptoms are less severe than someone with a weaker immune system than you. So I can't impress upon the point, it's so important to keep your immune system strong, whether you're in fear of COVID-19 or just in general. I mean, this pandemic gets people to think more about their immune system, but they should have been thinking this all along. My recommendation for vitamin C is it tends to be better to get it from food. So if you want to load up with vitamin C, just eat a piece of citrus every day, whether it be an orange or some lemon. You know I like the lemon water first thing in the morning, but other citrus works. Kiwi is also very high in vitamin C. Plenty of fruits and vegetables have vitamin C. If you're eating fruits and vegetables, you should have no problem getting enough vitamin C to have that portion that would affect your immune system in a positive way. You could check that off your list. You've got that part covered. The rest comes with the rest of your diet and your white blood cell activity, your stress levels, the amount of sleep you get. All of this is important and is always important, not just to fight off COVID-19. It's always important to keep your immune system strong. So that's what I had for an introduction today. I'm going to open up the call to questions. There we go. So any questions for this evening's call?
I have a question about my mother and a question about myself.
Okay. Can you get closer to your speaker or your phone, or perhaps take it off speaker mode, because I can barely hear you?
Yeah, I'll do just a minute. I'll just take it off speaker.
Yeah, there you go.
A question about my mother and also a question about myself. So for my mother, she was doing what you had recommended in the last 2 weeks with taking silver and swishing it and spitting it out.
Right.
Holding it as long as she could. She said she was doing it, holding it maybe, even up to 5 minutes.
Yes.
So the whiteness on her tongue is less. Her tongue still feels dry, and the cracks are not really improving any more than what they had been.
So there's more to it than just destroying bacteria or yeast in the mouth.
More than bacteria or yeast problem.
Right. Now, has she done the oil pulling?
She did not do. She thought about she could, but I said, well, maybe she better do one thing at a time so that we know what is helping or what.
Yeah, that's true. But the way I look at healing is do it all, and you don't have to write a book on what works. You just healed yourself.
Yeah, I guess we were not sure, if there'd be any negative things, and we wouldn't know which was making the issue.
Right.
I mean, if things would get worse, or if she had some other side symptom.
Well, now you have data. Now you know to do it.
Okay. So she said she's willing to try that if you think that she should go ahead and do.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you could do once a day easily. Okay.
All right.
I recommend doing it once a week for just everyone.
Okay. Do you have any word on like what the signs of like tongue cancer or mouth cancer,
I don't.
You don't
No.
deal with the specifics of all that?
No, that's
right.
something an MD is qualified to answer.
Okay. We're just thinking about various things, and she'll probably be making a visit to the family doctor to get a little more information and have an update with her again too. Right.
But I do that oil pulling immediately.
Okay. We'll probably try that. And do you think, we should be seeing some improvements with the oil pulling? I mean, you have to do it a couple of
Yeah, I'd say
weeks?
2 to 3 days, you're going to start seeing an improvement.
Okay.
The tongue heals amazingly fast.
Uh-huh.
This is how fast the tongue can heal. You can actually have a hole in your tongue, and it will heal in less than an hour.
Really?
Yeah. The tongue is, the cells regenerate very quickly.
Okay. All right, so we'll do it for a few days, and maybe by the end of the week.
You would know in just a few days.
We'll know whether we are making headway or not.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, about myself, I had been trying the silver about a tablespoon at a dose. I was doing it at night whenever I woke up, to do it on an empty stomach and keep it away from food and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So I was doing a tablespoon one time, a daily dose of it. I was doing it at nighttime. I did 6 nights, and then I missed the dose, and I did the next night. So I had 7 doses in 8-night time, in 8 nights,
right.
The space of 8 nights. And it finally dawned on me that the stiff neck that I was having had started after the 2nd or 3rd dose. I'm not sure why I was so slow to put the connection together.
Yeah.
It was a haunting kind of stiff neck. I just could not make any progress with it.
Right.
And I was keeping on the lookout for digestive problems because I thought maybe that would be the first thing I would see. But it was actually the stiff neck. So I promptly stopped the silver, and it took another week for the stiff neck to go away. But just a couple of days after I stopped the silver, then my stomach problems started. Pain.
Yeah, I don't think the silver is related to your stiff neck.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you don't have problems. You don't have problems that quickly after starting it?
Well, there's a phenomenon in science where it's difficult to determine the cause of a certain effect. So you start taking colloidal silver, that's the cause that you think could be causing the effect, which is a sore neck. But all of the other variables in life can change. Mm-hmm. And for instance, you could have slept differently that night, and you have no idea how you slept because you didn't have someone control your sleep positioning. And that's why it's so difficult in science to determine cause-effect. So I have never heard of colloidal silver being the cause of neck pain.
Mm-hmm. Even if it would induce like a Lyme flare. I mean, whenever I try treating for Lyme, I just can't get anywhere.
Yeah. But again, that would be the Lyme giving you a sore muscle,
Right.
and does that mean the silver is attacking the bacteria that causes the Lyme? Undoubtedly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me it's working, is all it tells me.
Mm-hmm. I got a really severe feeling in my throat, sort of like stuck food or a lump kind of thing. And I've had that before whenever I stimulate my immune system, like with a lot of B12 or probiotics or, just any kind of thing like that stimulates my immune system, or when I was treating for Lyme with the herbal tinctures back years ago. That was the first time that I ever felt that.
Right.
So I guess my question is, do I just go slower at the silver, or is there something else that I should be doing in conjunction with it?
It's most likely an issue that it's called contraindicator, meaning there's 2 or 3 substances you're taking that don't like each other. Mm-hmm. And that's why when people take a supplement, there's always this risk that it will interact with something else, whether it be something in a food, a vitamin or mineral in a food, or a supplement. Typically, herbal supplements will have these contraindicators, just like medicine. A medicine, the same thing. You'll read that when you take a certain medication, you're not supposed to eat these foods, and you're not supposed to take this other kind of medication. What that means is there is an interaction. And the more supplements we take, the possibility of interactions gets very high, especially if we're taking herbs.
Okay, I don't think my supplements would be in that category, but I'll have to double check.
So supplements are, can be way overdosed, way overprescribed, and borderline dangerous. Okay, just like medication. Mm-hmm. They have a very strong effect on the body. That is why I prefer people to eat correctly, digest what they eat, right? So that's where enzymes would come in, if they're eating foods that don't come with enzymes, and then go from there. So that's like the base of the pyramid, ground zero. Eat a high plant-based diet. Doesn't have to be 100%, just high plant-based diet. Make sure you're digesting what you eat. So, and with age, generally people need enzymes. All right. Now that's a supplement, but enzymes aren't a vitamin. They're not a mineral. They're not an herb. They're a type of amino acid. They're a catalyst that make the digestive reactions go faster so that you have complete digestion, absorption of nutrients, and elimination of waste. So you can start thinking, well, I'm digesting everything I eat. I'm still deficient in B vitamins. How do you know? Well, you took a test. You took a micronutrient test. Oh, I never took a micronutrient test. I just assume I'm low in B12. That's not how you supplement with B12. You need data to know you're deficient in any vitamin, right? And that's after you're eating correctly. Mm-hmm. Just like I said about vitamin C. I recommend you get your vitamin C from food. Now, some people, they need to supplement with vitamin C, and when they do, it increases their immune system all the way up to fighting cancer at very high dosages of vitamin C. So I was talking about vitamin C, 4,000 milligrams a day. The cancer doses are around 20,000 milligrams a day, not 4,000, 20,000. And at that dose, you really have a high probability of forming kidney stones and also having diarrhea before you even get to 20,000 milligrams. But if you're fighting cancer, you'll go for that. But I don't recommend that if you're not fighting cancer. If you're not fighting cancer, I recommend you get your vitamin C from your food because you should be eating plenty of fruits and vegetables anyway. But be very careful how you decide the supplements you need, because your immune system can do just fine with a decent diet, low stress, and plenty of sleep, in most cases. Supplementing can be dangerous. One of the factors that impressed me about the Enriching Gift supplements, especially the vitamin blend called Complete Vitamins Plus, none of the vitamins or minerals or antioxidants in that supplement are mega dose. They're all optimum dose. They're enough to have an effect, but not enough to have a problem. So you can find vitamins out there with, 20,000 times the normal dose of a certain B vitamin. Is that really prudent? Is that really necessary? I would argue no. But it sells products. You really want the optimum dose for your body. And it's different for everyone, and this is the holy grail of supplementation, would be to wake up in the morning and have some sort of a test that tells you how many milligrams of vitamin C you need that day, how many milligrams of or micrograms of vitamin B12 you need that day. It would be nice to know this is how the fruits you should eat, these are the vegetables you should eat, this is the dairy you can get away with, this is the amount of meat you can get away with. It would be wonderful, but we don't have that. So we're sort of stuck trying to figure this out ourselves. And I know in your case it's extra challenging because you're really sensitive to many products. But my suggestion is to go back to the basics and start adding things after you just know you're digesting and metabolizing and eliminating your food. Mm-hmm. That is what I recommend, because it's so easy for us to essentially poison our body with supplements and supplements, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, herbs. They all have a strong effect on the body, and the higher the dose, potentially the more toxicity. Mm-hmm. So the optimum dose is what you're looking for, and that is hard to find. I wish I had that magic machine that you could stick your finger in it and know exactly what you need to eat that day. But we don't have that.
Yeah. So shall I call you sometime on your private line and go across the stuff that I am doing again, or do I wait until you come to Pennsylvania?
Well, that brings up another point. every day that goes by here, I'm thinking I'm going to have to delay my trip till June instead of May 30th and 31st. I'm thinking I'll move it into June. And I don't know how ugly this is going to get, getting on planes. I heard that they're even debating having people take a blood test to get on the plane. That's insane. But yeah, we can talk again and go over what you need to do as sort of a reset for your body.
I would be glad to reduce the amount of stuff that I'm taking.
See, I suspect you're taking products that are hurting you. I suspect that. I don't know for sure, but we'll go over what you're taking. And it's a great place to start because if you feel bad, well, you can always start adding them back, and then you'll know what works and what doesn't.
I thought I was pretty basic with a handful of things besides what I'm doing with Enriching Gifts. I mean, stuff like magnesium and milk thistle and, some things that I've learned that I can't do without. But maybe in talking we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, I already know where this is going. I can already see the problem just in what you're saying. So.
All right. I'll get with you later then.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dr. Brewer, this is Charlie. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is milk thistle and dandelion root just as good to take for your liver as juicing with the celery?
Not even close. Yeah.
The celery is the best?
Celery is the celery juice is the king for on an empty stomach at detoxing the body and like the base of the pyramid to heal. Now, milk thistle is extremely similar to statin drugs. It is not a statin drug. You can buy it over the counter, but the chemistry is similar, and it accumulates in the liver, and it is not something to take long term. So it's not a food. It's not like celery. Dandelion root is essentially, a food, but milk thistle is not. Milk thistle has a very strong therapeutic effect on the body, just like a medicinal drug. Not something to take long term, something to take in an emergency until you get your liver and cholesterol levels under control, and then stop it. It's not something to take long term.
How often should you do that celery juicing for your liver?
Once per day, every day, unless you want to take a break at some point. But, your goal is every day. Now, you may run out of celery and say, okay, I'll skip it today. I'm out of celery. I'll go to the store tonight and get back tomorrow. But your goal is every day. And what you'll notice is a lot of strange-looking poop coming out of your body. And that's the detox process. For most people, it will take months to get the toxins out. But when you do, you're going to notice your HDL to LDL cholesterol ratio goes the right way, meaning your HDL number will be about the same as your LDL number. right? Instead of your LDL number being 2 or 3 times your HDL number, it'll be closer to 1.5 or even 1-to-1. That would be awesome. Awesome to have a 1-to-1 HDL to LDL.
Also, what is the best food you can take to clear your kidneys? The last time I was at my internal medicine doctor, he sent me for a blood test, and my creatine level and my GSR, he said I had like stage 3 kidney disease.
Right.
He said
celery juice. Celery juice. So now you get a double benefit.
Oh, okay. So would that improve my numbers? Because he said I could be on dialysis in 10 years.
Right. Yeah. You just got to stick with it, and yes, it'll help you immensely. And basically, when I give people advice to eat a certain food, it's free, meaning you're going to eat something. So the cost to buy celery versus something else is insignificant. You're going to eat something. So it's free to heal yourself.
Right.
You always want to start with food.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get the opportunity, I can look at your blood at some point, and then we determine, is there something else that needs to be done above and beyond food? Do you need more white cell activity? Do you have parasites in your blood? Do you have excess oxidation? So you'll need some form of antioxidant above and beyond the food you're eating. Do you still have toxins in your system? So you need some sort of detoxification above and beyond what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You always want to start with the simple part, which is your food. But for kidneys, vitamin C celery juice. Celery juice is very, very good, very detoxing for the kidneys and allows them to heal. The other thing for the kidneys is to drink more pure water than anything else, meaning drink more pure water than tea, more pure water than coffee, more pure water than soda, which you shouldn't have any soda anyway. Zero soda. So get your water from water, not a flavored water.
Right.
So that's very, very important for the kidneys and for overall health, for your immune system, for your digestion. The water is so important.
Okay.
And the water intake for each individual varies, but you can determine what's appropriate by looking at the color of your urine. You just want it to be a pale yellow.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somewhat brownish or looking like apple juice, you're dehydrated. There's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely want that celery juice. I would recommend you consume half a bunch of celery sticks juiced per day. So a bunch, most stores sell celery in these bunches. That would last you 2 days.
Right.
You make the juice, you drink it slowly, hold it in your mouth a little bit before you swallow, and you wait 30 minutes before you eat your next course, whatever that is. I would recommend oatmeal with fruit, but
okay. I guess that answers my question.
Yeah. And you should start your morning 30 minutes before the celery juice with warm lemon water. The juice from about half a lemon. So it's the same ratio, half a lemon a day, half a bunch of celery a day, and 30 minutes in between. They're like little courses. I always say to my wife, what's for breakfast tomorrow? Well, we're going to start with our first course, warm lemon water. And then our second course is going to be freshly squeezed celery juice. And then our third course is going to be oatmeal with fruit. So we do that quite often. But yeah, wonderful. We have very, very good blood health, both when I look under the microscope and when we get a standard blood test. But that's the best way to start the day. There's no question about it. Of course, unless you're allergic to something. If you're allergic to lemons, you can't do the lemon water. If you're allergic to celery, you can't do the celery juice. If you're allergic to oatmeal or certain fruits, well, then you can't have that either. So it all comes down to what your body likes. And food allergies are a real problem because often they're for foods that you want to eat and that are good for you. And it's a real shame when you're allergic to something that's good for you.
Hey, also, what should I limit my number of eggs I eat per week?
So it varies, but I mean a good number. Let's say if you like eggs, you don't want to go to 0, but you want to improve your cholesterol numbers and any strain on your liver, etc. I would say 2 eggs per week. And I don't know if you listened to this call, but I used to eat 3 eggs per day. I would have meat at lunch and meat at dinner. And when I got older, in my 50s, I kept my meat intake the same, but I decreased my egg intake from 3 a day to 2 a day. And my numbers were great until around age 55. My numbers started getting worse and worse. I couldn't get away with 2 eggs a day and meat at lunch and meat at dinner.
Right.
And that, so we all have this point where we have to make some sacrifices.
Right.
It takes a while to get used to, but once you get there, it's easy. I like to use the term it's a piece of cake, but
right.
But it's not extremely difficult to shift from meat every day or meat twice a day to perhaps meat once a week. And the same thing with eggs, from 2 eggs a day to 2 eggs a week.
Okay.
Something like that. So what you'll get from that is you'll still get some of the benefits from eating animal products, but you're essentially going to sidestep the problems. And it's different for everyone. So that's just everybody wants to hear a number, just something to shoot for. So if you're eating eggs every day, that would be a great target.
Yeah, right now my cholesterol is like 218. Of course, now all the doctors want you to get it down below 200.
Right, but it's the ratio that's important.
Right.
And then the other thing is there's something in statistics and numbers called the standard deviation. And what that means is when you get a number, it's not absolute. There is some form of uncertainty in the testing process. So what that means, your cholesterol is 218 plus or minus some number. That number could be 20. So it's 218 plus or minus 20. Well, that means it's possible your cholesterol is under 200. It could be 218 plus or minus 5. Okay, you're still a little over 200. But
right.
That is not a cholesterol level to be concerned about, especially if you don't have plaque in your arteries, because that's where the problem lies. You don't want plaque in your arteries, and you want your arteries to be very flexible, and that would be seen in the blood pressure numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, my blood pressure usually runs around 118 over 59.
Yeah, so the chance of you having plaque are very low. So then the next thing is, what is the ratio of your LDL to HDL or HDL to LDL? It's just what is the ratio? And an awesome blood would be, let's say, 100 LDL and 100 HDL with a level of 200, or 90-90. That would be a 180 total cholesterol. That would be awesome, a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right.
Most people, when they're having trouble, they're 3-to-1, LDL to HDL. So as an example, they'd have an HDL of 50 and an LDL of 150. They're still at that magic number of 200, but they're in trouble.
Right. I basically just cut out my sugar, pies, cakes, ice cream, and all that, and my cholesterol went down.
That is, your enemy number one is sugar. And let's just, we'll admit, sugar tastes great, but it's our enemy.
Right.
It's essentially a temptation. But reducing sugar all the way up to eliminating is very challenging. But reducing sugar, that's only going to have benefits for all around health.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every aspect, including your weight, your fat content, the health of all of your organs, your artery health, your brain health, it's your immune system, everything is going to be impacted and improved by reducing sugar intake.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of willpower to do that.
Right.
I mean, I always say to people, how tough are you? Let's see how tough you are. Let's see if you can go a week without any sugar. Let's see if you can do that. Because that's tough.
Well, I find the longer that I was off of, like, donuts and ice cream, pretty soon when I tasted one again, it tasted like lard.
I can't remember the last time I had donuts and ice cream. But I've had them. But that's good when you get off something and then try it, and then it doesn't taste that great, does it?
Right. It doesn't taste good at all.
So that means you've crossed the threshold. Congratulations. You should share with your family how you did it.
Yep.
Because it's tough to do that. It's very tough to reach a point where nice tasting desserts taste horrible.
Right. And
what would normally be good tasting.
So I wasn't even trying to lose weight. I lost like 10 pounds just getting off the sugar.
Right. I mean, most people will lose 5% of their body weight and pretty much all of its fat just by eliminating dessert.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's like your easiest 5%. So for a 200-pound person, that's 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the easiest of 10 pounds, because it's not going to be lean body tissue. It will be fat.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rest of it gets a little harder.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll be seeing you in July for my blood test.
Yeah, June. I hope to be there in June. Are you scheduled for May?
I usually do it on my birthday, around July 28th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I'll be opening up my office anyway, May 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes too.
Right.
I mean, this is all an experiment. I still wonder, and I still have questions why we shut down our entire local, national, and global economy for a virus that in many instances has a lower death or kill rate than the common flu did 2 years ago. But again, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. But I smell a rat somewhere. I just don't know where. Yeah. In the meantime, I always tell people, keep your immune system strong, get good sleep, drink your water, eat your fruits and vegetables. If you have any concern about your white blood cell activity, take Steromax. Any concerns about digestive stress or just incomplete digestion, take your enzymes. And that's going to be the biggest part of your health.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is going to be little things to modify. I mean, some people are prone to bacteria and yeast, and they may need to take probiotics, or else they just develop too many parasitic bacteria in their system. But it's something that can easily be seen during a blood analysis.
Right. Well, that's all the questions I have.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions?
Monday? You're going to be on next Monday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, is there something special next Monday?
No, I was just thinking I'm going to start writing down my questions each week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And if you missed the call, it's embedded in the newsletter as just something you can click on. It's like a podcast. You just click on it.
Yeah, I get your emails.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm going to hang up. Thank you very much.
All right, very good.
Okay, bye-bye.
If we don't have any other questions, I'm going to close out the call, and I appreciate all of the questions I get because it helps everyone when they listen to the answers. So thank you to everyone that asked questions, and we'll do this again next Monday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your immune system strong. All right, good night, everybody.